Let's go over the answers to the Unit H study guide. So to start with, I'm giving you the picture or the model, and I want you to give me the mixed number and the improper fraction. So I count the whole ones. 1, 2, 3 whole ones, so big 3. And this one shaded is 2 out of 3. I go to improper fraction. I know my denominator is going to stay the same because they're cut into thirds. I'm just counting how many gray pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 thirds because each piece was 1/3. Try out this picture. I got 2 whole ones and 1/2 is gray. They're cut into halves. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 halves. 5 halves is the same as 2.5. So I got a big 1 whole one, 2 out of 5 shaded. So I know my denominator is going to be 5. And I got 5, 6, 7 fifths. Okay. When we go this way, and I give you mixed numbers, it's probably easiest to do the picture first. So I got 2 and a 4, so that would be 2 whole ones that are cut into fourths. And 1/4 of 1. So there's my picture. 2 whole ones, 1/4. I know my improper fraction is going to be fourths, and I just count how many pieces. 4, 8, 9. 16 thirds. Again, it's easiest to go to the picture first. So I'm going to make my picture. I'm cutting it into thirds. There's 1, 2, 3 thirds. Got to keep going. 4, 5, 6 thirds. 7, 8, 9 thirds. 10, 11, 12 thirds. 13, 14, 15 thirds. And I need one more. 16 thirds. So there's my picture. Then I count my whole ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the fraction part is 1/3. Down here, write the mixed number of fraction as a decimal. 2/10 is how I read that. That's exactly how I write it. 2/10. 1/4. It's also said 1/4, so it's 1/4 of a dollar. So it looks like 25 cents. 29 hundredths, just like it said. So hundredths means I'm going to be 2 spots after the decimal point. Half of a dollar is 50 cents. Take me a little while to scroll here today. Alright, 1 8/10. This works the same as when we're doing decimal, except I'm going to have a big 1 in front instead of the 0, and there's my end. 8/10 means I just have an 8 in the 10th spot. 2 3/4, big 2. 3/4 is 3/4. 3/4 of a dollar, 75 cents. And then over here, 4 and 17 hundredths is a big 4, and I already have 100 for my denominator, so I just need 17 after it. Change the decimal to a fraction or mixed number. Again, however you read this, 9/10. Done. 21 hundredths, because it goes to the second spot. 6 hundredths. Now, when I come down here and I put a mixed number, I'm going to want to make this a mixed number, because I have a whole number in front. So it's a big 5, and then I just do this part by itself, just like we did up here. 23 hundredths. Big 7 and 2 hundredths. And a big 5, and this time the 4 is only in the 10th spot. Alright, we're writing in some word form. You write it just like you say it. So this is 8/10. Exactly what I do. 8/10. Make sure you get the THS on the end. 3, because that's in front of my decimal point. The decimal point is always the word and, like when you say dollars and cents. I write this whole number, 67, and then I decide what place it's in. Well, it's 2 places, so there's tenths, hundredths. Again, doing the same thing. I got a 4 in front, so 4 and 6. And the 6 is not sitting here in the tenths. It's all the way out here in the hundreds. So this is 4 and 6 hundredths. Got a 0 in front. I don't need to say 0 and. I just go to this part. We got a 38. And any time it's 2 numbers there, it's in the hundredths place. at least for this year, because we're only going out to the hundredths place. Next year it would change a little. All right, let's scroll up, see how we're doing. Getting ready to write in standard, which is going to be the reverse of what we just did. So my and is my decimal point. So look in front, I got a 4. And check this part out. Tenths, so I'm only going one spot. 4 and 2 tenths. 2 hundredths, there's nothing in front, so that's like saying 0 and. We're going hundredths, so it's 2 spots. I got a 2, so that would be 0.02. 0.02, 2 hundredths. There's my decimal, so I got 6 and. Going hundredths again, 2 spots. 14, that would be 1.4. No decimal point, no and this time, so we're starting out with 0 and hundredths again, 2 spots. 52 would go right there. And no and over here, so we got 0 and we're going tenths, so it's only one spot. 0 and 3 tenths. See if I can get them all on the screen there at one time. So, whoop, I'm just a little too high. Complete with greater than, less than, or equal. Okay, so when I have decimals and I'm comparing them, first I compare the whole part, which is the part before the decimal, so they're both equal. If they're equal, then I go to the next spot after the tenths. Sort of like when you're doing stuff in ABC order. So I have an 8 here and a 0 there. 8 is larger. Some people want to say, hey, you have an 8 on both sides. Well, there's no number here, which would really be like a 0. So this is really 80 hundredths compared to 8 hundredths. This one right here, 0 is at the beginning. Next spot's a 5 against a 3. 5 is larger than 3, so 0 and 5 tenths is larger than 37 hundredths. And I know it sounds weird when you say 37 is bigger than 5. Again, 2 digits there. If you need another digit here, put a 0 there. 50 hundredths, which is the same as 5 tenths, is larger than 37 hundredths. Come over here. They both start with 0. We got a 7 against a 5. 7's going to win. Here we got a 0 and a 0. We got a 4 and a 4. We got a nothing and a 2. What number is nothing? 0. So 2 is larger than nothing. All right. Down here we do actually have a whole number, so we compare. We got a 4 against a 3. The 4 is larger than a 3, so I don't even have to go on. It would be like if something is $4 in something, it's always going to be more than $3 in something. We got a 7 against a 7, and then we got a 2 against a 0. This 2 in the tenths, beats a 0 in the tenths. It's larger than it. 7 and 7. Tenths, we got a 6 against a 5. 6 is larger than 5. Down here, the tricky ones, see if I caught anybody. Both 4s in the whole number spot. I got a 1 in the tenths and a 1 in the tenths. They're still equal. 0 in the tenths, nothing in the tenths, but nothing means 0. So those two are equal. All right. Add or subtract, draw pictures if you need to, if you need to regroup. Okay. This one, I always want to start with the fraction part and go 4/8 plus 1/8. I can do that. It's 5/8. I did not need to regroup, so I don't really need to draw pictures. So I'm just going to do fraction plus fraction, whole number plus whole number. So 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 and 5/8. You could have drawn the picture if you wanted, like I'll do down here in just a minute. Check out the fraction part here, 7/8 minus 5/8. Well, that's 2/8. I did not need to borrow or regroup. And then 8 minus 2 is 6. All right, let's get to the tricky ones. 5/6 plus 5/6 is 10/6. So I would need to regroup. So here's how I show the kids what to do. I'm going to draw 2 and 5/6. So here's 2 whole ones. And here is 5/6 of 1. Over here I'm adding it also to 2 and 5/6. So here's 2 whole ones again. Here's another 5/6. Now, I don't know about your mom, but my mom does not like having pies or pizzas where you got missing pieces like this. So she wants to make whole pieces. So what we're going to do is take one of these pieces right here. We're going to move it over here to make this one a whole one, and now it is not there. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole ones, and the fraction is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6. When I subtract, I'm going to draw this number and then mark those out. So I need 4 1/5. I'm going to cut each of them into fifths. That's the one that looks like the starfish. And when I shade in, I just usually throw a pepperoni on each piece, because that lets people see they're there. So there's 1 whole one, 2 whole ones, 3 whole ones, 4 whole ones, and then I need 1/5 of one. Right there's 1/5. Okay, so there's my 4 1/5. 4 whole ones, 1/5 of one. Someone came along and ate 3 3/5. So I'm just going to mark them out. So 3 whole pizzas. This is 3 whole pizzas. Those are gone. Then someone ate 3/5. I'm going to start with this piece that's over here by itself. So there's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. So if you're looking around, the only thing that is left is right here. We don't even have a whole pizza, because sometimes we do have whole ones left. This one looks like there's only 1, 2, 3 out of 5. So 3/5 of one is left. 2 problems to go. All right, I'm going to try another adding one here. So I got 2 3/6. There's my 1 whole one, 2 whole ones, 3/6 of one, 1, 2, 3. Over here, 2 whole ones, 2 whole ones, 5/6 of one, 3, 4, 5. Remember, Mom does not like to have empty pieces. And it's going to be easier to move one from here to fill that one, because I'm only going to have to move one of them. So he's picked up from there. I just slide him right in there. Now I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole ones. And this is 2 out of 6. So 5 and 2, 6. This subtraction problem is just like what we did above, except there's not even going to be a fraction part. So I'm just making 6 whole pies. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to cut them each into fifths, because that's my denominator over here. So we got the starfish going again. And now I shade them in. There's 1 whole one, 2 whole ones, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now someone comes along and eats 2 2/5, so we're eating 2 of them. Let's take the 2 bottom ones. And then 2/5 of one. So that piece is gone and that piece is gone. This time I've got this much stuff left. So let's count the whole ones. 1, 2, 3 whole pies. And this one has 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 3/5. Hopefully you do great on the test tomorrow.